Hello people of Don's channel. Today I have a bit of a different video because this is actually unscripted. I wasn't asked to write a script for this, and I think this will just be a better way to make this video because I want to talk about the state of Gen 2 underused. JCUU, the secondary tier on this channel. I'm just going to be upfront. I think this tier right now has a button of issues, and you can see like people are complaining a lot about this tier, and a lot of people are quitting it. Like there's barely anyone who actually plays this tier anymore. So I think JCU in its current state is a mess. Now it's an enjoyable mess. Like you can have fun playing this tier, and if you do have fun playing it, then like good for you. But I think building in this tier right now is really not fun to do, and building is just very constricted. And even like when you're playing, like the tier can often be unfun, which like hacks, rest talk wars, but those aren't the real issue. I think the issue is that the tier is too offensive. No, that sounds weird because I've seen a lot of people say that this tier is too stally, but I actually think it's that it's too offensive right now. What I mostly mean by this is that there are certain top Pokemon who have just very little counterplay. Like Granbull has like 3 mons that beat it, and Shuckle I guess, but Shuckle's only on stall. There's Piloswine who has 3 good switch-ins and 2 short-term ones. You know, Gyarados, Blastoise, Slowbro are good, and then Feraligatr and Pinsir are short-term. Granbull only has Magneton, Omastar, and Haunter, and the latter two can get fucked by Hidden Power Ground, and Omastar can get Thundered. There's Nidoqueen who has, let's see here, Blastoise, Slowking, Granbull, Hypno kinda, and like Gligar. That's another annoying Pokemon. Then there's Mr. Mime, who has Hypno like and Chansey is good counters, right? But Chansey doesn't really fit on offensive teams. And after that, you have Piloswine can help against it, but it's not a great answer long term because like its Spadef isn't that good, and it takes spikes damage. Same with Lantern, honestly. So Mime's another constricting mon. There's Electrics. Lantern has very few answers. Ampharos and Magneton have even fewer because you can't stop them with Hypno because they get 3 KO'd. And the Electrics force you to use Piloswine over Nidoqueen, which like you often don't want to do because Piloswine's better into mons like Scyther, Mime, Buzz technically, Haunter, and even more. Hypno as well, yeah. So I think building is just a bit of a mess right now, and the top mons have too much of an effect. But there's another mon I want to talk about. Like I want to really focus on one mon here. I think Scyther in this tier is completely and utterly broken right now. Now Scyther's always been one of the best mons around, but nowadays with Double Edge and even Night Screen, honestly, being really good on it, I think Scyther's way too strong, and it needs to be banned, honestly. Scyther is just way too good at getting in and just messing everything up. The only hard counter to Scyther is Crobat, who's pretty darn bad. It only fits onto stall because it loses to like almost every top Pokemon because of its weaknesses and its bad move pool. And like even if you use like an offensive team with Piloswine, Gyarados, and Granbull, you can still lose to Scyther. Wait, one moment. Right, I just need to take a drink. 1 second. Alright, I had a drink. It was very yummy, but Scyther is way too broken. Like, look at this here. Here's a Scyther here in this game. Donut versus Col 49. This Scyther takes advantage of Blastoise's rest, which, by the way, Scyther is ridiculously good at taking advantage of rest in general from Pokemon like Hypno and Blastoise. And like even Gyarados and Piloswine, they don't OHKO Scyther. If they're weakened enough, Scyther can just SD up on them and then kill them with Double Edge, or even Wing Attack if they're low enough. I think Scyther actively punishes you for preparing for the other top Pokemon. Like you use Blastoise, Scyther can take advantage of that. You use late Hypno, late Scyther takes advantage of that. Even using Hypno, Scyther yet again takes advantage of that. I just don't know what to say. It's just way too strong. Like unless you have Crobat, this thing will find ways to beat you. Even if it's ridiculous shit, like just tanking a Mr. Mime Thunder, like when it's rest talking versus it. It's just such a ridiculously broken Pokemon. Don't even get me started on Baton Pass. I think Baton Pass is good now because everyone expects like Double Edge or Light Screen. So if unexpected and you Baton Pass, let's say, a Nidoqueen, then have fun because you're often just gonna lose. There's also a Pinsir, but Pinsir isn't nearly as bad as Scyther because it's a lot slower. It takes spikes damage, and It doesn't have as good Spadef, I think. Well, either way, it's just not as broken because it's slower. It's things like Mr. Mime and Haunter can Revenge Killer. There's another thing I think that needs to be banned. Baton Pass. Agility Pass, the Agility Pass ban was great, but now that I think about it, I don't think it was enough. I think we just need to get rid of this stupid move from this entire tier. So, without Agility Pass, what are you passing? You're passing Curse Pass Mime. This Pokemon is way more deadly than you might think. Because Mr. Mime is already grey, and its best answer is Hypno, but you just take advantage of Hypno by cursing on it and then passing out. And Mr. Mime has like no good answers. The tier's only good phaser, Roar Gyarados, gets blasted away by Thunder. And what are you going to do? Cripple Piloswine to run War? Are you going to run Jumpluff on every team? Jumpluff's a good Pokemon, but it lets in a lot of shit, so it's definitely not a mon you can use in every team. I think Curse Pass Mime introduces a lot of matchup fishing, I mean. Stuttery bitch. Matchup fishing, and it's just unhealthy for this tier. Like, there was a game recently in UEPL where Curse Pass Mime, like, destroyed a stall team or something. That's not even the only thing. You can pass Meditate to, or Substitute, and there's still SD Pass out there, which is also dumb as hell. Baton Pass is a move, just get it away from this tier. So that's my first option, banning Scyther and banning Baton Pass as a whole. There's been other options brought up though, with the most prominent one being freeing Pokemon that are currently in UEBL. The three most, or I'd rather say two, because Venusaur is like not really a fix to any of the tier's problems. The two biggest ones are Muck and Aerodactyl. I think Aerodactyl should be freed. I don't think Muck should be freed because Muck just contributes even more to the two offensive problem to me. Because Muck introduces another boomer, especially a boomer that often takes advantage of Hypno and Piloswine. So then you lose to like controversial things like Mime. Like Mime becomes way better with Muck around. So does Buzz and Nidoqueen. I don't think Muck is really the fix. Aerodactyl though, I really think should be in this tier because it completely shits in Scyther. It doesn't hard counter it because Steel Wing, yeah. Scyther would actually use Steel Wing if Aero was in this tier because it 2 KOs it at +2 attack. And like if Aero's resting or it's paralyzed, you can easily break through that. And like you can still pass out if we keep it on. Here, look at this here. Scyther passes to Dojo, and now Duxa just loses because all of his mons are weakened. And he didn't expect it, so silly Billy. But yeah, JCE in its current state, we need to ban Baton Pass and Scyther. Or we can free Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl wouldn't really help though. I don't think it wouldn't solve the Baton Pass issue. I think regardless of what we do, we should ban Baton Pass in this tier. Like even if we want to go the route of freeing BLs, banning Baton Pass helps with that. Like I think Smeargle would actually be completely fine in this tier without Baton Pass because it's just like a Spikesmon, another Spikesmon. It doesn't have Explosion. It can't like Belly Pass. Like if Smeargle was a new, it probably was like SD Pass or Belly Pass with Spore. And like it spores Gyarados and you pass it to something like Dojo and now have fun with that. So I think Baton Pass should be banned. And then we should either free Aerodactyl or ban Scyther. Those are my options. I don't think freeing Typhlosion's good. I don't think banning Hypno's good. I don't think freeing Muck's good. I think we should just focus on Scyther and Baton Pass. Whether it's banning Scyther or freeing Aerodactyl. Those are my 2 cents right now. This tier is still flawed, even if we do either of those things. But this is a good first step. I need to stop stuttering like an idiot. 1 second. Okay. We need to ban Scyther and Baton Pass. I'm just gonna keep repeating that. Ban Scyther, ban Baton Pass, or free Aerodactyl to stop Scyther being broken. Scyther would still be very good with Aero around, but it gives us another hard counter. So, because like JCU in its current state, it's a dying tier. It's really a dying tier. Like, I don't play anymore. I mean, I don't play in tours anymore. And several other people are quitting this tier. Like, there's like 5 people who are actually interested in this tier right now. I think we should do this before it becomes too late. Like, what happens when the one enthusiastic person quits the tier? Then JCU is completely dead. Just do this now, please. We need to ban Scyther, or free Aerodactyl and ban Baton Pass, in my opinion. I'm willing to hear other people's perspectives though. I've really been stuttering this like past 2 minutes, but that's like an idiot effect. But anyway, I'm gonna end this off now because yeah, GCU is an enjoyable tier, but it's a huge mess. I can accept that because like I love this tier despite all of its issues. I love GCU, and I want to see it improve. So that's why I'm doing this. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I might do another unscripted video, but that's just my perspective. Ban Scyther or free Aerodactyl and ban Baton Pass. Anyway, I'll see you guys around.